Alright, I'm on hole number 2 of the Coastal Classic Tournament. I'm in Tuesday's qualifying round. I'm in my practice account. I'm still practicing in this account. So I'm trying to put, yesterday I had 2 practice sessions. My practice account, my main account. And I really wasn't concerned about getting on or trying to get it in the hole. Anytime I had a shot where I was off the green going towards it, I went right at it. I tried, I wasn't playing around. But once I got on, I didn't want to qualify, so I made sure I missed putts, and I didn't mess my opponents up, but I did make sure that I didn't qualify yesterday. So I had 2 practice rounds, and what my goal was just to try and establish what I need on the drive. And then if I'm in that area, what kind of club I'm looking at. So today I'm trying to make sure that my notes for getting me to this spot right here are correct. And now I want to start really working on this shot. This is the shot that I really want to be working on. So if I epic fail on one of the drive shots, then that means I need to really take a look at my notes to make sure I can standardize it. I don't want any variance here. I want to come to this hole, hit this shot, it ends up in the spot, and go on. So on hole number 2, and I'm making a brand new set of notes here. So hole number 2, I got a QB and a Titan, the king of balls. I'm using a sniper as my second shot, my second club. If you've got lower developed clubs, a Viper should be able to get this done. But if you're finding your Viper short, you can use your big dog. You're just going to have to figure out the top spin, how much you need. 10% to green. Okay, so on this hole, I'm doing a QB and a Titan. QB and a Titan, and I'm coming in with a sniper, so I'm using my accurate bag. And the only club in my accurate bag that's not in that range, which for the long iron it should be a backbone, I use a Saturn. My Saturn is my big utility club. So I can get to a hole that needs backspin, I can get to a hole that needs topspin, I can get to a hole that needs curl, and that club will get it done on any hole. There are some holes that are backspin short iron, and I don't normally carry a backspin short iron, so I'll short shoot it and put myself into my Saturn range because I know I have a Saturn in my bag, and I know I can get that shot done with a Saturn. 4-4. It's about 4.5 rings. Put on just a little bit of curl just to keep it over on that side of the fairway. And hit it great to the left, which will push it more to the left. And it'll be on that ridge, so there's a ridge right there, and if you're on the right hand side, it'll tend to, when it tails off, it'll dribble off to the right. If you're on the left hand side, it'll dribble off to the left. You don't want to be too far on that. That works. I would have liked it, my ideal target zone, if I look at the failure, if you draw a line down the middle of this fairway, and I want to be up there in the same distance from the rough, but on the right hand side was my target area. That little zone right there is my target zone. If I hit outside of that zone, that's a failure, because the shot that I'm going to take here is going to be slightly different because of angles. If they brought the right club, they'll have a shot from there. You can get it done with anything bouncing off this, but you need something with topspin if you're going to bounce off that island. I'm right up against the red line. I want to be blue ring off. I'm just going to dial it into the hole. Right, 10%. It's going to be 4 rings. Hitting it perfect. Give myself a look. Just a bit outside. And see, I'll tell you right now, I'm not sure that 10% needs to be on there. So I pulled up some notes and I'm going to erase it. I'm not going to do that 10%. I'm not going to do that anymore. I pulled up some notes from 2 other tournaments, and I had this listed down, and I had 10% on there on the last tournament on my weekend notes. But I went and watched an Albie that I did in the weekend, and I didn't do the 10%. I did everything else exactly like you normally would. If it was 4, I moved it 4 rings. I did everything else right. I was going right at it, and I didn't do the 10%, and I got an Albie. So that right there, that's 2 times in a row I've hit on this shot perfect. I've done the 10% wind adjustment, and I've been off. If I hadn't done that 10% wind adjustment, I would have been closer to the hole. So I'm going to not do it. And then if I notice that there's an issue where I'm still off, then I'll have to really go back and look at it. But I don't think that that number was right on my original notes. Drinking some coffee, chilling out. I need to not be making these putts, I can tell you that, because I'm not trying to qualify in this account today. I'm still trying to dial these holes in. It's a draw. What were you thinking? Making that putt. I came out here yesterday and I tried doing the island, and I feel confident that if I chose the island as my starting point, I would bring a katana. I needed a little bit more side spin. I brought a Quasar, and 3 side spin would have helped me out quite a bit. I do think there's a little bit of a wind adjustment down there. It almost feels like if you hit to the island going up that way, that it really hits. I don't know, there's a wind adjustment that needs to be down there, and I'm not sure if we need to take some wind out or we need to add some wind on. But there is an adjustment down there. It almost feels like we need to take some wind out. So like if you had a 3 wind, instead of doing a 3, you do a 2-7. You take off 10% instead of adding the 10 like we normally do. Alright, that was hole number 2 of the Coastal Classic tournament, and Tuesday's still practice round. Thanks for watching.